ExxonMobil gets another massive investor following ADNOC. Australia wants to lead the world in green hydrogen production. TotalEnergies becomes an investor in Japan. And BP and Iberdrola look to decarbonize oil production in Spain. I'll go over all of this news and give my thoughts on today's Hydrogen Podcast.
So the big questions in the energy industry today are: how is hydrogen the primary driving force behind the evolution of energy? Where is capital being deployed for hydrogen projects globally? And where are the best investment opportunities for early adopters who recognize the importance of hydrogen? I will address the critical issues and give you the information you need to deploy capital. Those are the questions that will unlock the potential of hydrogen, and this podcast will give you the answers. My name is Paul Rodden, and welcome to the Hydrogen Podcast.
First up today, in an article in Benzinga, Lekha Gupta writes, Exxon and Mitsubishi join forces for low-carbon hydrogen project. ExxonMobil Corporation shares are trading higher pre-market Friday. ExxonMobil inked a project framework agreement with Mitsubishi Corporation for participation in its Baytown, Texas facility. Under the terms of the agreement, the companies will advance talks regarding Mitsubishi's offtake of low-carbon ammonia and equity participation in the project. A final investment decision is expected in 2025, with startup projected for 2029. ExxonMobil low-carbon hydrogen and ammonia will offer customers a reliable low-carbon energy source adhering to high operational standards. Mitsubishi plans to convert part of its LPG terminal to an ammonia terminal for transshipment, supplying low-carbon ammonia to industries such as power, automotive, and chemical in Japan's Shikoku and Chugoku regions. Mitsubishi has also created a council for utilizing Namikata Terminal as a hub for introducing the fuel ammonia, aiming to handle 1 million tons of low-carbon ammonia annually by 2030. Masaru Saito Group CEO, the Environmental Energy Group of Mitsubishi Corporation, stated, quote, "We are excited to be closely collaborating with ExxonMobil to deliver low-carbon hydrogen and ammonia supply chains that will bridge the United States and Japan." Also saying, we are also working with Idemitsu Kosan, which is developing an ammonia hub near ours and intends to participate in ExxonMobil's hydrogen facility with us. Together, we will lead this joint initiative to assist in the acceleration of hard-to-abate sectors' transition to clean energy. Okay, so ExxonMobil continues marching forward with and gaining investors for their Baytown plant. This following the news just a week ago that ExxonMobil brought in ADNOC as an investor. And so with all of this global investment coming to the Baytown plant, it would be highly unlikely for ExxonMobil to cancel it. The big question still remains regarding the three pillars and just how will the Treasury Department determine what projects qualify. Next, in an article in oilprice.com, Svetlana Peraskova writes, Australia unveils $50 billion plan to lead global green hydrogen market. She writes, Australia looks to develop domestic green hydrogen industry and export clean hydrogen in a bid to become a global hydrogen leader. The government of one of the world's top LNG exporters said on Friday. The Australian government today published its new hydrogen strategy, which identifies objectives and actions to take and underpin delivery of Australia's hydrogen industry at scale. The key to the government's plan is funding through an estimated $5.4 billion allocation made in this year's federal budget. The funding will support the Green Hydrogen Production Tax Incentive Program and the expanded Green Hydrogen Head Start Program, this according to the government. Australia plans to invest as much as $15 billion over the next decade to become a renewable energy superpower and boost its domestic critical minerals economy, this according to the Labour government in a statement in May. With the new hydrogen strategy unveiled today, the government expects the incentives to unlock $33.6 billion in private sector investment in the clean hydrogen industry. Under the plan, Australia's annual domestic production capacity is expected to exceed 1 million tons of green hydrogen by 2030. It anticipates possible annual production targets of 15 million tons by 2050, supported by 5 yearly milestones. The government says that Australia is already well placed to become a world leader in green hydrogen, with the International Energy Agency, or IEA, estimating more than 20% of the announced hydrogen projects globally are in Australia. In a quote from Chris Bowen, Minister for Climate Change and Energy, As our industry scales, it will provide further and greater benefit for communities, support broader economic growth, and provide a key lever for Australia to reach net zero. He also said, it sends a clear signal to the trading partners about the future marketplace in Australia for hydrogen and hydrogen-based fuels, saying we're ready to see the benefits of this through expanding trading agreements with key partners such as Germany. Okay, so I would say the title is a little misleading in that the Australian government isn't fronting the full $50 billion, just 15 with the hopes of bringing in $35 billion in private investment. But that's still an extreme amount of public capital that the Australian government is looking to put into green hydrogen, nearly twice as much as the US hub investment. So could Australia lead the world in green hydrogen? Well, it really wouldn't be much of a stretch for that accomplishment. They were already on the front lines of green hydrogen production years ago and were the first to ship globally. If they can continue to find international offtake interest in green hydrogen, then Australia can easily take the lead in global green hydrogen production. Next, in a press release on September 12th, TotalEnergies joins the first Japanese fund dedicated to the development of low-carbon hydrogen. TotalEnergies announces its entry as an investor in the Japanese Hydrogen Fund at its first close, joining several major Japanese companies in this fund dedicated to developing the low-carbon hydrogen value chain. At its launch, the fund was initially endowed with over $400 million thanks to contributions from prominent Japanese investors, Toyota Motor Corporation, Iwatani Corporation, Sumitomo Mitsui Banking Corporation, MUFG Bank, Tokyo Century Corporation, Japan Green Investment Corporation for Carbon Neutrality, and the Bank of Fukuoka. The fund will be managed by Advantage Partners, one of Japan's leading private equity firms, and is launched by the Japan Hydrogen Association, or the JH2A, the largest private hydrogen value chain promotion council in Japan, representing over 440 members and aiming to promote sustainable development with hydrogen. In a quote from Heli Christofferson, president of Asia and member of the executive committee of TotalEnergies, TotalEnergies is pleased to support an ambitious fund dedicated to developing the hydrogen value chain in Japan and globally. As the only non-Japanese investor at this stage, we are convinced that only a collective effort will enable low-carbon hydrogen solutions to emerge on an industry scale. This initiative aligns with our ambition to be a global player in the energy transition and will also allow us to leverage the dynamism of the hydrogen ecosystem in the Japanese industry. Okay, so TotalEnergies joining the Japan Hydrogen Fund as an investor. And with an initial close of over $400 million, this is a decent-sized fund to begin allocating capital. Japan is one of the, if not the prime hydrogen development markets currently in existence. So it will be very interesting to see just how this fund is managed. I know this press release says Japan and globally, but there is easily $400 million worth of infrastructure investment needed in Japan. So I would be surprised if any of these dollars went anywhere other than Japan. And lastly, in an article in Reuters, Iberdrola and BP to build a 25-megawatt green hydrogen project in Spain. Spanish renewable power company Iberdrola and Britain's BP said on Thursday they had agreed to build a 25-megawatt green hydrogen plant in Castellón on Spain's eastern coast. The project, which will benefit from a €15 million or $16.5 million EU subsidy, is designed to help BP reduce the carbon footprint of its oil refinery located in Castellón, the two companies said in a joint statement. BP and Iberdrola will each finance half of the project, but they did not disclose the cost of the building of the plant. Green hydrogen production uses electricity from renewable power plants such as wind and solar to separate hydrogen from water through electrolysis and is part of Europe's strategy to tackle carbon emissions and improve energy security. Okay, so BP and Iberdrola working with green hydrogen to reduce the CO2 footprint at Castellón. Now, a 25-megawatt facility may not sound like much, but if they were just looking to target that one facility, a 25-megawatt operation should produce plenty of hydrogen for that project. And while we don't know the full cost of the plant, we do know that Spain is kicking in 15 million euros in subsidies to help with the funding. This also means that we have another European hydrogen project fully self-contained without the need to import hydrogen. These smaller projects are exactly what I believe we will see more of in the future, and really what the three pillars in Europe are targeting: new renewable facilities producing hydrogen with nearby offtake. All right, that's it for me, everyone. If you have a second, I would really appreciate it if you could leave a good review on whatever platform it is that you listen to. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google, YouTube, whatever it is. That would be a tremendous help to the show. And as always, if you ever have any feedback, you're welcome to email me directly at info@thehydrogenpodcast.com. So until next time, keep your eyes up and honor one another.
Hey, this is Paul. I hope you liked this podcast. If you did and want to hear more, I'd appreciate it if you would either subscribe to this channel on YouTube or connect with your favorite platform through my website at www.thehydrogenpodcast.com. Thanks for listening. I very much appreciate it. Have a great day.